Just a bit over a day ago now, some really sad news came out about a very, very famous YouTuber named IShowSpeed. He was having some problems with his head, his eye was swelling, and he ended up having a thing called a cluster headache. And in this video, we're going to discuss what a cluster headache is and how it might affect his career in the future. Now, if you don't know who IShowSpeed is, it might be because you're not the right age range. iShowSpeed does a lot of very fast-paced videos, usually tailored to the younger audience, but it has worked. I mean, just starting over a couple of years ago, he's been racking up millions and millions of views, and he has 18 million subscribers, almost 19 at this moment. But unfortunately, when he was traveling, meeting really famous soccer players, a video came out about him talking about his current condition.
Guys, I wanted to make this video if I die. Right now, I have one of the worst experiences I'm having it right now, guys. I can't even open up my eyes. I have this thing called a cluster headache right now. The most deadly headache disease. I can't.
So, yeah, he's going through a cluster headache, and it looks like it freaking sucks. Now, he does comment it's the most deadly disease. Fortunately, at least from what I found, it's not deadly. It's not necessarily lethal, so Speed should be okay, and I hope he is. But the pain that's endured during cluster headache is just awful, and you can see how bad it gets here. You can see his eyes looks pretty fine and normal, but just a day later, we can see this video.
Hello, guys. Quick update. I don't know what I have right now. I'm about to go through surgery right now. I love y'all boys so much. I've been feeling shit, literally, just very bad. Like my eyes, oh my god, my eyes puffing up. It feels like a stab. It feels like somebody is stabbing my eye with a knife.
And that's a really common symptom of a cluster headache, and it looks just pretty bad here. I mean, you can see how swollen his eye is. It looks like even his other eyes is pretty bad there. Yeah, he's just not having a good time, and this is definitely not a good situation to be in. And his dad even took to Twitter to make a video about the update, which luckily this was earlier today, and it looks like he's recovering. And we can see in this post as well that he's been discharged from the hospital now, and he's feeling better. So, that's great news. But what is a cluster headache? I don't know if you guys have heard of these before. I personally had it until this experience, and that's why it really shook me, because I don't really see YouTubers getting these types of things all the time, and especially something that is actually pretty common. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about what a cluster headache is, and then we'll discuss about how this might affect his career based on the condition of the headache itself. So you can see here that cluster headaches are chronic and very, very painful and interfere with your work and daily life. And I'm sure that Speed probably couldn't be content creating as he was feeling those pains. It says here that smoking and drinking alcohol potentially causes these things. I'm not too aware about what Speed was doing before he had his symptoms, but he was traveling, and that's another big thing that is related to cluster headaches. Huge elevation changes can sometimes cause them. So, and here we can see what you feel when you get a cluster headache. It's burning, sharp, stabbing, or steady pain, usually on one side of the face, involving the eye, as we saw in the picture of his swollen eye. And it's worst within the first 5 to 10 minutes. But the pain can last up to 2 hours. So here we can see, again, it's an intense pain around one of the eyes on the side of your head. And we can also see here that the attacks of the headaches, known as cluster periods, can last from weeks to months. And so this is where it kind of is scary, especially for a content creator. I mean, anyone who's going through this is going to have a hard time working. But if your brand is to be a certain amount of energy and feeling well, then having this happen to you over and over again, and it might happen to Speed, could really severely affect his content. So I hope that he makes a speedy recovery, and it's not a chronic thing for Speed. I hope that he gets back home, he's feeling better, and he can make videos again. Just a little bit more information about what the headache really is and where's the pain. It looks like it's around the eyebrow and the side of the head, as Speed was saying. And so it makes you ask, like, what causes the cluster headaches to begin with? And we don't really know the exact cause. We know there's a lot of factors that drive into it, as far as I can find on the internet. But the biggest role in your brain that's affecting a reaction that causes a cluster headache is the hypothalamus. Now, if you don't know what the hypothalamus is, it's okay. I didn't either. It's just this part in your brain, kind of located mid-center, and it's really important that your hypothalamus is working correctly, because without it, your body can't maintain something called homeostasis. Homeostasis is the perfect balance for a living organism to have chemicals and hormones and anything that your body would need to survive and be healthy. And if you're not maintaining it, you're not going to feel well. Your body's going to have a response to try to bring you back to it. And so usually a cluster headache is your body's response to your hypothalamus messing up, because it's trying to fix itself, and it's figuring out the areas it needs to repair. And swelling is usually caused from an abundance of hormones being shot to certain parts of your body in order for it to start being fixed. And it looks like that's what Speed was going through there. Another really important role of the hypothalamus is maintaining body temperature. It's a portion of homeostasis, and if your hypothalamus isn't working correctly, you could easily get a fever very quickly, or your body temperature could be too cold. And so, hopefully his hypothalamus doesn't have any serious problems. Sometimes cluster headaches are related with more serious issues, but the periods that you can go through can last from several weeks to months, and they might happen at the same time every day, potentially. So if they do for Speed, that might be a good thing. It might be that he's able to collect himself and realize it's about to occur, and then make content after or before. So I just thought this was a really interesting situation. You don't always see big figures like this being affected in such a major way. Just recently we had Hank Green and his cancer treatment, and I think his progress in showing what radiation is all about is really important. Because they're all normal people at the end of the day. These huge celebrities and creators, they're normal people just like you or me, and they're gonna have problems. And I think it's really cool if we're able to support them and learn about the disease that they're going through and make it a positive outcome. So I just wanted to talk about Speed for a little bit. Have a good one.